promised, I'm going to be doing a video showing how I made these lovely flowers. I suppose two of them are a flower and another one you could probably call a Christmas star, using the punches from the upcoming 2019 holiday catalogue, the two punches that come with the Christmas is Gleaming or Gleaming Christmas bundle. Which is there. Now forgive the light, my craft room doesn't have the best light in the evening, so hopefully the shadows won't put you off too much, but I'm not going to have much chance for the rest of the week to do this video, so I thought I would take advantage of it now. Anyway, just give me 2 seconds while I fix my computer. Anyway, hope everyone's had a good day and a nice weekend. I'll just get to here. Oh, here it is. Okay, so let me just do what I've got to do here. Excellent. Okay, so as I say, forgive the shadows. It's a bit shadowy. I've got a light off to the right hand side, and it does tend to cast shadows. But anyway, here we go. So what I thought I would do is just run you through a couple of these designs that I've done, and then I'll make this one. Given the Christmas season is coming, I'll make this one, which I think looks a bit like a poinsettia. But anyway, so as I say, it's made with the punches. This one and this one are made with the bauble punches from the Christmas is Gleaming bundle. And this little one here, which I think looks a bit like a dahlia, is made using the balloon bouquet, or bouquet of balloons punch, so with a large and small balloon. So I know that sounds a bit confusing at the minute, but just bear with me and watch, and I'll show you how it all comes together. Okay, so to make this one here, you have to basically use both punches, and using the red of your choice. This one is real red, and I'm going to make the one tonight with cherry cobbler, which is a darker red, richer red. You need to punch out 20 each, so 20 of the large bauble and 20 of the small bauble, and that 20 will go to making 5 large petals and 5 small petals. So each petal is actually 4 of the punched images, or the punched shapes. Okay, so what you do, if you can imagine, I've got 20 of these because I have actually prepared some of them along various ways, just so we don't have to watch me punching out 20 petals. So you'll have 5 groups of 4. So you have 20 petals, which is 5 groups of 4. So what you need to do then is get your scoring board, or whatever you use to score, which I'll use this one. Dirty old thing, but it's one of my favourites. Get your scoring board, position your little bauble or shape sort of square straight on the board from top to bottom, and then just score it. So you want to get as close to halfway, going halfway through the shape as you possibly can. So you do that to, of your 20 little shapes that you've punched out, you do that to 15 of them. So you do it and you leave 5 just plain. So if you can imagine, I'm doing this to 15 and I'm leaving, oh, haven't exactly got that straight, oops. So I'm doing this to 15 and I'm leaving 5 without scoring them. So I'll pop that aside. So I've done that to all of them, or to, yeah. So for the 15 that you've scored, you again fold them in half. So you're getting sort of like a 2-dimensional shape. So you end up with 15 folded and 5 still flat, like that. So as I say, each little petal is made of 4 of these shapes. So for the one that's flat, I'm just going to grab some glue. That sort of forms the base of what you're doing. No, not that glue. There's some glue, this one. So the one that you've left flat without folding, you just add a bit of glue and put the glue all over. Ooh, if your glue will come out. Come on, come on. go. Just put some glue all over, and then take two of your little folded ones and position them so that they overlap half of your shape each, like that. Okay, so line it up as well as you can, make sure that they all all the edges match, and then press them down so that you've basically got your two halves attached. So it's a bit like that. Hopefully you can see that. So you've got with a sort of open mouth sort of thing happening here. So in that mouth, we'll call it that, that's a good word, you pop, this is your third folded one. Just add some glue to that one and you pop it in there. So you've actually got a sort of a three-dimensional bauble happening. You see that? You've got one there, and one there, and the one flat at the back. So that is basically one of the petals of our flower. So I'll do another one. Here I've got the smaller punch and one that's flat and three that are folded, and I'll just do that again. So pop some glue on your flat one and get the folded one, put one on one side, matching it with the edges of your base one, and then one on the other side, like that. Line them up as well as you can. Open this middle mouth part, lips, whatever you'd like. Then the one that the last one, pop some glue on. This glue doesn't want to cooperate tonight, it must be cold. And then pop that one in the middle. So that's the smaller of the petals there that's made. Okay, so when you've finished all that, you should have 5 of the smaller petals. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and 5 of the larger ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that fundamentally is your poinsettia. So to assemble, what I do is I've got a stitch circle here, which is a nice sized stitch circle. It's about, what one is it? It's 2.5 inches wide across. I'm going to use that to assemble the flower, just so that I can get it nice and uniform. So on your stitch circle, pop some glue, just all around like that. And then you can start popping the petals on. So I'll start with the big ones because that's sort of, it's an easier way to start. Roughly sort of work out where the centre of your circle would be and maybe pop a bit of a pen mark or something there just so you can see where the centre would be. Just bear with me. I'll do that. So say the centre's roughly sort of about there. You can't see that, but I've actually popped a little hole there just so I know where to line everything up to. And start popping your petals around. So from experience with this one, with the larger petals, you're actually putting them so that they just about kiss each other. And we have to have it fiddle a bit just to make sure that you fit them evenly around the circle. Yeah, but from the couple I've done, if you get them just about kissing each other, but not quite, probably a millimetre or so away, you should get a nice even coverage without too much trouble. And good thing is with our glue, you've got a little bit of wiggle room, not a lot, but a little bit. So probably even just have a bit of a play before you put the glue on, just so you know what sort of distance you're looking at. But that's worked out pretty well. You can see that they're fairly uniform around the circle. So see there, you can see that they're all sort of glued and even. Then it's fairly simple with these. You just pop them in between the gaps. So I pop a bit of glue on the back. Don't go all the way with the glue because they are going to overlap a little bit. So just on the top half, and pop them in between. So just up as far as you can in the gaps. Now, they won't go all the way through, but they will go most of the way. So another little bit of glue. Sorry, I haven't got my glasses on, so I can't see the comments, so I'll come to them in a minute. I'm busy getting glue all over my hands as usual. Pop that one in there. Just in, and you'll feel when it starts to rub against the others, so you know not to force it too much. Just let it go as far as it'll go and no further. That's that one. This one goes up in there. Two more to go. One up in there, and you can see you've got some nice symmetry happening here. You've got some sort of a nice little pattern. They're all sort of fitting together quite nicely, and this is the last one. Okay, so there we have the beautiful red, or in this case cherry cobbler, poinsettia. Okay, so that's, you've got a little thing on the back. So with the others that I have done, with the ones like this little flower, that one on the back I've left it blank, but with this one that's stamped with a star, I've actually stamped Merry Christmas on the back of it, which I think is quite nice. You could give that as a gift, like a Christmas decoration or something like that. So if you've got a white space there, you might as well stamp something on it, eh? Okay, so, and on the poinsettia, so with the poinsettia, I've got, so it's a little bit of a hybrid actually, because the leaves I've actually used from the Good Morning Magnolia. So it's a poinsettia magnolia hybrid. So I've got two, they're in shaded spruce, and I've got them punched out in shaded spruce. And I want them to sort of fit together behind the flower, just so that parts of it, so you can see a bit of a green poking out, but not too much. So I've popped the two leaves. This is the big die from the Good Morning Magnolia. Cut them out, sort of position them so they overlap a fair bit, and then you can sort of fiddle with it a little bit just to make sure you're happy with how much is actually showing out around the edges there. So that's quite nice, I like that. So what I'll do is grab, I've got another circle here, and this one I'm actually going to stamp with our Merry Christmas. Yes, so this is the Merry Christmas from the Perfectly Plaid stamp set. I think it's just really nice. It fits that circle quite neatly. So I'll grab that, pop it on a block, get some cherry cobbler, since that's what I'm using on my flower, and I'll stamp that one. Just there. Good thing with circles is you don't have to be too worried about them being straight, because you can just move your circle. Okay, so I'll get my leaves into what I think is a good position, with a sort of nice amount sticking out but not too much. Let's go, let's think. And a bit like that, that's quite good. And I will glue them together. Just put some glue in there just so that they don't move apart too much. Just like that. And then flip them and pop your, where'd they get there? And pop your circle on the back. And that should just seal them nicely so that they don't move too much. If you overlap, you can put glue, put your circle on both so that they sort of sticks them together. There we go. You haven't stuck them there. And then we can add some glue to our circle, our plain circle, and just pop that on as well. Just get the right sort of angle that you decided you liked before. quite sweet. Okay, and so to give it a little bit of a highlight in the middle, and what I've done with this one as well is I've got also from the Good Morning Magnolia, I've got these little centres, these little flower centres. So I've done that in So Saffron cardstock. I've got 2 of the larger ones and 2 of the small ones. Just going to glue those so that the small ones are obviously on top of the big ones. You could use glue dots for this as well. Just a little bit of glue, you don't have to go too mad. Pop those so they all peek out around each other, if you can. There we are. And then pop those into the bigger ones. There we go. You've got some really nice sort of I think they're stamens, but really nice wispy sort of fringy looking stamens there, and you give them a bit of a bend up because they're going to have to fit down in here. Now with a couple of these I actually just used glue, just popped like really ton of glue down in there, like huge amounts of glue down in there, so that then that would fit. But what I actually think is better is to grab, so you can do it that way, that's not a problem, and it worked really well for these, it's not a problem. But I think if you've got one available, I think it's actually better to use your glue gun. If you've got a hot glue gun, which I've got mine here and it's making awful smells in my craft room, so just use your glue gun and pop that. Hopefully it's warm enough now. Pop a fair bit of that in down there, and then put your centre in there like that. Now I just think that was a lot more sturdy than the glue, and you didn't have to quite use as much. So there we are. So that's stuck really well. I might just turn my glue gun off because it's stinking. Come out, you. Cool. Okay, so that's that. That's in there really well now. So give them a bit of a fluff up. Get rid of the glue gun bits. Just give that a little bit of a fluff up, and then just inside of that, what I think looks really nice is just a tiny one of these gold faceted gems. Just pop that in the middle there, just for a bit of bling. And who doesn't like a bit of Christmas bling? There we are. So, done. Just got a bit of excess glue there. I'll deal with that in a minute. So there's our poinsettia. So we've got one in real red and we've got one in cherry cobbler, which is really nice. And they've both got Merry Christmas on the back. So you notice this one's got a thread on it. So all you do to get the thread, and I should have done that for this one, but I've gone too far now, is just pop that thread in behind here, which I could probably still do, in behind there, between the flowers and the leaves, and just glue it in there so you get a little tag. That's quite easy. Or if you wanted to do it before you assembled your leaves, you could actually put it down in the middle of those petals before you assembled it, but it's just as good to feed it down in there and glue it there. So that's how I did those. Hopefully they're fairly easy. They're a bit fiddly, but they're not too bad at all, and I think the effect is quite lovely. So as I said, this one, I've had 2 there that were with the punches from the Christmas Gleaming bundle, and this one here, because it's rounded, is done with the balloons from the bouquet of balloons. So basically the same thing, you cut 20 of each, which is good with this one because it cuts them at the same time, so you just have 20 cuts and you get 40 balloons, so you get 20 of that one and 20 of that one. Fold them exactly the same, put them together on a circle exactly the same, and then use the magnolia inside there to give it a nice little frilly look inside. So yeah, I think they're lovely. I think as a Christmas decoration or on a Christmas tree, they're really nice. As a gift to somebody, they're lovely. Yeah, and it's quite an effective, good way of using punches, just for not for cards. Yeah, so just a bit of out of the box thinking. Okay, so that's all I wanted to mention to you tonight. I know I promised a couple of people that I'd show you how to make those. So there they are. Obviously this one here has been done the same as this, but it's just been stamped. So it's the cardstock is Whisper White and very vanilla, but rather than just glue them together, I have stamped them with the Christmas gleaming baubles as well. So that's pretty straightforward, if just a little bit more fiddly. Anyway, that's all I needed to show you tonight. Thanks for watching, everybody. And thanks for your comments, everyone who watched. I'll have a look at them once I get off the camera. I'll get away from these terrible shadows. But anyway, have a great week. Actually, I won't be around for a couple of weeks because I'm off to New Zealand for 2 weeks this coming Saturday. So I won't be doing any crafting, although I will watch what's happening on my Facebook page and let you know if anything exciting happens in the world of Stampin' Up. But anyway, have a great night, and I will talk to you all later. Okay, bye.